You little scamp. Do you know how much the core you took was worth? I stole it from the castle. 3 years it took me to get it. And now...
Please! She's barely 10 years old!
Silence! Stay out of it! If you die, it'll be as good as new. You brought this on yourself.
From now on, I'll protect you. I'll keep you safe. Always. My name is Jin. What's yours?
Laura.
It seems like sending Alkos was the right choice. You alright?
I've been through worse. I can handle it.
Jin, I swear I'll make your dream come true. So stop putting yourself at risk.
There's still time.
Is that part of your dream, too? What are we, in the end? This hunger I feel, this thirst, is it really my own? Or is it someone else's? Sometimes I can't tell. Tell me, Jin, are you really here? I don't know where I really am.
You're starting to sound like a human.
Oh, yeah?
Perhaps we're not so different after all. Humans and blades.
What's the deal with this ceasefire?
A tribunal, it looks like. Praetor on Malthus is here in person. And who's going to argue with the Praetor?
Does he have any clue how many men we lost? If those Ardanians get away with this, Architect, damn it.
Quit your grumbling, mate. All this is way beyond our pay grade.
You got that right. We're all just faceless cannon fodder to the bigwigs. CO says jump, we jump.
Morning, folks. Everyone sleep well? Not a wink. Figured as much. Let's take a nice walk over to the hall where the emergency summit's being held. Clear our heads a little. Someone's got to escort Morag over there, right? I think I would be perfectly capable of finding my own way. And Mythra's meant to be attending too, right? Apparently, yes. See, might as well all head over. Guess you're right then. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to Mindsight Games. My name is N-Sight. Ignore the expansion pass update because I have not opened half the stuff in the expansion pass. Today we're continuing more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I don't... Wow, my memory is just spotty at this point. Anyway, in the last episode, Praetor Amalthus saved us from going to war between Uraya and Mor Ardain. Yeah, by flying the entire continent of Norne into Temperantia. You gotta wonder, one, how he did that, and two, why he did... Well, we know why, but you gotta wonder, one, how he did that, and two, when can I do that? As for what our goal is now, we're heading up this way. There is one more event that happened. Hayes, one of Praetor Amalthus's blades, has... Or, excuse me, Fan Norne, excuse me, that's the name she has now. Also known as Hayes back in the day. She fell in combat, while fighting Jin on the Titan weapon. If you want to know, there's a link to the prior video in the description below because there's a lot of story going on there. I highly recommend going and see that if you have not already. Today, we're here at the audience chamber. It's kind of somber, and we're delivering Mythra to the to Celino, who's outside the audience chamber. Through here is the venue for the Summit of Nations. I must apologize, but entry is forbidden to all but the official representatives of each nation. Guess this is as far as we go. Yes, Bridget and I will proceed to the summit. I'm coming with you. And so are you, Mythra, remember? I guess. I'm not sure I like it, but I suppose I have to play my part in all this. Rex, you head back to our chambers with the others and wait for us. No problems. Be careful in there, okay, Mythra? Don't worry, I'll handle this just fine.
My deepest thanks to you for agreeing to this ceasefire. Queen Rakura, Emperor Nile.
As I recall from the Assyrian treaty of 350 years ago, the Praetorium was to refrain from intervention in times of war. And yet here you are intervening. But I trust you have a suitable justification, Your Eminence.
Naturally. But first, to ensure impartiality in these negotiations, may I present Nira, acting chairman of the Argentum Trade Guild. Furthermore, representing the Tantalese, His Highness the Crown Prince Ozikairis Brunev Tantal will also be attending.
The Crown Prince? The prodigal Prince of Tantal.
What a spectacle! Seems the Praetor has as much clout around here as ever.
Could we not just take them out here and now?
Good point. All the principal nations' heads gathered here? It'd make things easy later.
The way to the World Tree must first be opened. Wiping out mankind is the easy part. We could manage that ourselves.
Even so...
That isn't our only goal, remember? We must wait for the stage to be set.
Is Jin serious about this?
Yeah. I've been wondering that myself.
Oh, he's serious. He always is. He will annihilate mankind, and then... he will kill the Architect.
Now, it seems Mor Ardain has been accused of a unilateral breach of treaty in this matter. Emperor Nile, I open the floor to you. Is there anything you wish to say?
While we are still conducting investigations into the cause, it cannot be denied that weaponry belonging to our forces was discharged against Uraya. Regardless of any possible reason and circumstance, we are prepared to offer recompense for this grave offence.
So you want to settle this with money?
We will provide any compensation deemed necessary.
Perhaps I'm misunderstanding. To my ears, it sounds almost as if you mean to imply that the blame for these offences does not lie with your Majesty at all.
We are investigating. I ask that we not draw any hasty conclusions.
What need is there for investigation? I believe a cause has already been established. There are witnesses.
And that would be? What a preposterous notion. The people you speak of are merely a terrorist group. How could they possibly command that measure of...
It's the truth. I, Ozyclyrus, swear this in the name of King Eulogimenos Tantal.
Can confirm ex-Chairman Banner give these people some kind of supplies. Military supplies, methinks, and in great number, yes.
But why would...
What if I were to tell you that the Aegis Malos, who raised the world 5 centuries ago, was involved?
Ridiculous. Everyone knows he disappeared in a blaze of flame.
He's very much alive, believe me. That arsehole, the Aegis, has confronted us in person. And if my word is not enough for you...
A blade? But that core crystal...
This is another Aegis, named Mythra. Your Highness has heard of her, surely?
So the rumors that reached us were true. Who is its driver?
If you knew that, I dare say your surprise would be even greater. But that is not the matter we are here to discuss, Your Highness. This is a dire situation.
$6 already. Mythra's been in there for a long time now.
We've just got to trust them. They're dealing with the leaders of whole nations. It's not like there's anything you or me can do to help.
Ugh.
I've noticed something about Malos. He's an Aegis, but you wouldn't know it from how he's fighting. I'm pretty sure he's damaged in some way.
You mean he can't use the full extent of his powers?
The wounds I dealt in our battle long ago may not be completely healed. His end goal is Elysium. He wants to go back to the place he was born. There he can heal until his powers have recovered. If Malos is allowed to restore himself,
the horrors of 5 centuries past will return.
Or worse still, Malos's goal is simple. He means to destroy humanity in its entirety.
Why would anyone desire that?
Perhaps he doesn't even need a reason. It seems to be a deep-seated drive. An instinct. As natural as breathing.
All of this is my responsibility.
Praetor Amalthus? Whatever do you mean?
It was none other than I who awakened Malos and unleashed him upon the world.
So, Your Eminence, The rumor that you were once Malos's driver is...
I never intended to obscure the truth. It is writ plain for all to see in history books. I was a fool. It was to prevent such foolishness that all passage to the World Tree was forbidden after the Aegis War. However, it has become apparent that the laws of men do not apply to Malos. The time may have come to lift that restriction. I appreciate this.
Don't think you've earned my trust. But since Rex is going to Elysium, their paths are bound to cross. That's all.
I'm surprised. You seem so devoted to the boy.
It's for both our sakes. But you, Amalthus, who is it that you're living for?
Morning, folks. You're looking better slept than yesterday. Pretty much. Van's state funeral is to be held today, is it not? Yeah, I think it was meant to be happening in Seoris Plaza, right outside the sanctum. You'll be going, right, Shum? Yes, it could be wrong for me not to. Seoris Plaza, very not far away. Tora, it's just not very far away. Don't flip words, just omit others. Time to go, quick! Master Pawn's so bossy sometimes. Yeah. Guys, a lot of this story is going to be revolving around a few things. Excuse me, let me rephrase this. This episode is going to have a lot of story focus, so if you're not wanting to get into this for, you know, the story purposes, you wanna have at it, have free reign over the story matter itself, I'm linking the next episode, or, no, actually I won't, but, you don't technically need to see this if you're not into the story. Anyway. But, if you want to see this because story reasons are story reasons, you're going to want to watch the rest of this episode.
I guess they did call her a goddess. The state funeral makes sense. Shouldn't you be with him?
He's a boy. Best not to bother them at times like this.
I expected you to be more clingy. You really are different from her.
Actually, letting him be was more her idea than mine.
Really? Pirates? Get out. So wait, you're saying you want to go be clingy, or what?
I'll burn you.
I kid. Sheesh. It's weird, though.
What is?
I mean, don't you think it's odd? Normally, if a blade or its driver dies, it'll just go back to being a core crystal. So why is Fan just dead?
I did wonder the same thing. There's only one way I know for a dead blade to keep its physical form. Remember Minoth? I mean Cole. He was a flesh eater.
Yeah.
But Fan wasn't a flesh eater. I can say that for sure.
What's that?
That's the shape of Fan's core crystal. Well, how it used to be.
But now it's a triangle.
Rex and I are quite a unique case, but this is different still.
How is it different?
If a blade shares its core with another, its shape changes in a uniform fashion. In our case, the center part went to Rex, and the outer part to us. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be a rule.
But Fans isn't like that.
Exactly. It looks more like someone stole her core, doesn't it?
That was quite the grand funeral ceremony. It spoke volumes as to just how Fan was loved by her people. The goddess of Endol won't be an easy position to replace. Hey Rex, what are you going to do from here on out? If we're going to reach the World Tree, we'll need the Praetor's help, but... Master Rex, there you are! Praetor Malthus... excuse me, tongue-tied. Praetor Malthus wishes to speak with you. He is waiting in the audience chamber. That's perfect timing then. Maybe he wants to talk about the World Tree? I'm afraid I cannot say. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get ourselves to the audience chamber then. I realized I used the wrong voice for Gramps there. Anyway, so we know where to go. I do want to point out that there's a lot of exposition dumping that happens right about this time. And this is going to bleed into the next episode, but the next episode, for sure, we will have fights. So, it's not just mindless exposition for the sake of mindless exposition. And if you're wondering, oh, hey, I put this core onto Morag, I put this blade onto Morag. Morag will be rejoining our party eventually. The only party members that, as of the end of the game, that you never get back are Jin, because you only get him in one time at all whatsoever at the very beginning of the adventure. Malos, because you only get him at the very beginning of the adventure, and only for Chapter 1. I'm trying to think... Oh, Vandam! That's the other one. Vandam, because he dies at the end of Chapter 3, I think? 3, right. Uraya took up an entire chapter. Anyway. We're very nearly to the audience chamber. I am curious as to what Amalthus has in store for us.
My apologies. Did I keep you waiting?
No, not really. What were you doing?
I was cleansing the core crystals. It markedly increases their resonance success rate. Bonding with the crystal carries certain risks, you understand.
I know.
When I became the driver of an Aegis, this power was awakened in me.
So, I might be able to do it too?
Who knows? Different people are cut out for different things.
Right, yeah.
Now then, my work is done for the day. Come with me.
A special envoy? To Tantal? Me?
Correct. Behold. As a salvager, I imagine you are already aware, but this is Allrest, the world we currently inhabit. We make our home on Titans, moving in circles around the World Tree. And here lies the Great Void. This void came into being 500 years ago. It did not exist prior to that.
So I've heard. It's in our way anyway. It stopped us reaching the World Tree.
The Great Void is carved from the Cloud Sea by a monstrous beast known as Ophion.
Wait, you mean that thing?
To be precise, it is an artifice, a servant of the Aegis.
Of Mythra?
So that thing is Mythra's. Then what did it attack us for? Doesn't make sense.
Ophion was felled in the ancient battle with Malos, sinking below the clouds. This means someone must have revived it.
Correct.
And you're saying that someone was Zeke's home country, Tantal?
Yes. They gave Ophion one directive: to ensure that none approach the World Tree. They sought to prevent a repeat of the horrors of the Aegis War, so an obstacle was created, the Great Void.
How did they manage a feat like that?
As I've said, mankind is regressing. Only one artifact remains that can rescind Ophion's orders, and it lies in Tantal.
It's called the Omega Fetter, and it's guarded by the royal family. I'll take you to it.
I've prepared your envoy documents already. Your quest is to set foot in Elysium, correct? Malos and his ilk will surely seek the Omega Fetter for themselves. I would ask you to reach Elysium before they do, and inform me of what you find there. Do it as a favor for a once foolish old man, and so that people may have a future in this dying world.
So, Zeke, you're going to be guiding us to Tantal, right? Sure am. But let's head back to our chambers before we talk about it. This isn't exactly the place for discussing stuff. Back to our room? Got it. I do want to note that you can actually walk back into here, into the Praetor's study. Doesn't exactly look like a study, if you think about it. Yes, there's a desk. Yes, there's a chair right here. But there's a table with chairs seated everywhere except for the very end of it. You gotta wonder how that happened. Hector, the Praetor's envoy, I don't know, it's the Vice Praetor. You're bound for Tantal, I believe. I trust that you will fulfill your duty as the Praetor's envoy. Remember, His Eminence has placed all his hope in you. And the Praetor. To reach Elysium, we must first stop Ophion, the beast that carved the Great Void. And Ophion's directive was issued from Tantal, Zeke's homeland. I prepared envoy documents for you so that you may enter as representatives of Indal. I entreat you to reach Elysium before Malos. Do it as a favor for a once old man. Nothing new from Praetor, but you kind of get the once off from him. There's not a ton of times that we're going to be able to talk to the Praetor, and I'd highly recommend doing so whenever you get the opportunity. We will be chatting with him at a later date as well. Anyway, we have another directive. Head back to our rooms at the corner of the the corner of the plaza. Anyway, at the corner of the sanctum. Excuse me. Anyway, I wanted to talk about one thing before we get to move on with the rest of the story. I will not be giving outros anymore if they end in cutscenes. If they end in a cutscene, I will leave it at that. If they don't end in a cutscene and I am in the middle of gameplay from some odd here or there, that's when I'll be giving outros. So like the past couple of videos, I ended it on the cliffhanger that was the end of the chapter. If something ends on a story beat like that, and it's a pretty good stopping place, like the chapter, or the cutscene showing off Jin, I won't be going too far into that. We've prepared your rooms. I presume you'll be wanting to take your leave soon? Please, make sure you're well rested before you set out once more. Shall we rest? Yes, please.
We can reach Tantal by ship, but once we're there, we'll need to do a spot of walking.
So we're travelling with Shell, dear? Never thought I'd see the day.
I think you'll find I make a fantastic ally.
Luck of Zeke not so great. Bet we shipwrecked by tomorrow.
Cheeky furball.
We're all gonna die.
Hey, Zeke. You said before that Torna concerned you too. What did you mean by that?
What? Oh, yeah, that. I don't know about those clowns, but Torna, the country that fell 500 years ago, they were the ancestors of us Tantalese. The people of Tantal are descended from Adam, the hero of Torna who escaped its destruction.
So, after Pyra fell asleep, Adam escaped to Tantal?
That's right.
That is the first I've heard of it. I have studied much history, but this story never featured. Most peculiar.
We're humble. Don't really like to brag about it. The only real trace left is in this here sigil of the royal family.
So why did you awaken Hayes?
Because her power was of great use to me. Indol has found itself under attack from Torna a number of times. She was necessary in driving them back.
Really? Then why don't you seem to have any others? Blades, that is.
Driver though I may be, I am no fighter. Besides, I find the warrior monks here so reliable. They get the job done.
If you say so. I wonder, do you know why Torna are using the name of a dead country?
Jin was a blade of Torna once. Loyalty or nostalgia? Who can say? Perhaps both.
Is that really all there is to it?
You don't think so?
I don't know much about what happened while I slept. There are no written records, either. All we have is stories passed down.
And you think that is insufficient? History is a murky thing. Only those present can truly know what took place.
But weren't you one of those present?
And that is why I offer you my cooperation.
I guess we'll find out if we go to Tantal.
Right, let's head for Goetuis Port. Can we make it a leisurely walk? I guess, why? It's been yonks since I last went home to Tantal. I've been thinking of Indol as my home so long now, it feels weird to leave. I want to enjoy my last moments here. You can be shockingly sentimental sometimes.
I know, shocking, isn't it?
Shut up, you two. Gonna take some Indolin presents home to for the folk you haven't seen in a while? As if my old man would want any of that. Come on, let's start walking to Goetuis Port. Goetuis Port. You could grab a swig of Odiffa along the way.
They don't have that stuff in Tantal, so this could be your last chance.
I said shut up already. But I'm gonna take a pause right here. I'm gonna break right here between episodes because there is something coming up in this next segment that we're gonna want to take a look at. Thank you all so much for tuning back into Mindsight Games. My name is N-Sight. I'm sorry for the long exposition dump, but next time on Xenoblade Chronicles, we're gonna do something about that, dang it! I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.